All right, so we're going to be learning about some more jQuery stuff here. What I need to do is, I think I have a class for container that, I guess I don't. Let me go ahead and make the main, actually that has an ID. Actually, wow. All right, section, max, width is going to be 100%. And then width is going to be 900 pixels. And margin is going to be auto. Save this and refresh. There we go. So, and there's our drop down. That looks neat. All right. So what we have happening here is I've added a section with an ID of main, and I've put in some text there. Now above this, I'm going to add a few buttons and an input, actually. We're going to be learning about appending and prepending data in a practical way, I guess. So let's go ahead and add a text area with a class of text. And a placeholder of type something. Drop down a few lines and create a button with an ID of append. And then another button with an ID of prepend. And then one more button with an ID, it would help if I spelled button correctly, replace. I'm going to save this and we're going to refresh just to make sure it looks right. That's good. I'm actually going to put that into a section on its own just so we get the benefits of, there we go, the benefits of the centered content, so it will look right. There we go. So what we're going to be learning about is appending and prepending data and also replacing the content. So in the JavaScript, in the vanilla JavaScript section, we learned about getting and setting the inner HTML of an element. And we're going to be talking about that in JavaScript as well. So what we need to do is first, we're always going to need to get the content of the text area. So let's start creating event handlers. So outside of the drop down there, let me actually shrink this a bit so we can save some room. That looks better. All right, so when you press append, prepend, or replace, we're going to get the value of whatever's typed in there, and we're going to do that thing with it. So what we're going to do is we're going to target three things: the append, prepend, and replace by the IDs. Now, how you target multiple things or specify multiple targets within jQuery is with a comma. And this will attach the event listener to all of these. And we're going to say on click. Function. And now what we need to determine is the attribute. We need to find out exactly which one of these has been clicked. And so there's a couple ways to do this. First, what we're going to do is we're going to get the entire event. And there's really no reason to do this, but I want to show you guys what it is. So instead of typing this to specify whichever item was clicked, instead, within this callback function, or the second parameter in the on method, we're going to pass E. Now E stands for event. So for right now, I'm just going to console log E and then save, so that we can see, if we go over to the console, when we click, this is the event. So in this instance, the current target is button append. In this instance, let me fold that up. The current target is prepend, and then if we click that, it would be replace as well. Now, within here, I'm going to save this as a global variable here. And I'm actually going to type var el equals temp1 current target. So if we say L, we get a JavaScript representation because the event is a JavaScript thing. It's not a jQuery thing. jQuery just allows us to write the code like this to create a click handler, but the actual event, again, it just transpiles this into vanilla JavaScript. So the event itself is a JavaScript variable, not a jQuery one. So we wrap it in that. Now we can get attributes of an item or of an HTML element by using the method attr on the jQuery object. So if I say el attr, and let's go ahead and get the ID. We're going to see it's prepend. So now, I hope you guys can see what we're doing here. When we click it, we get the event target, and then we determine what its ID is. If it's prepend, we're going to run one function. If it's append, we're going to run a different one, and so on. So let's jump back into here, and we're going to remove this, and we're going to type var el equals, and rather than just typing out e current target, I'm going to convert that to a jQuery object right off the bat. So I'm going to say e current target. And now this will be whichever button has been clicked. And then we need to determine the type or action, let's say. So let's create a variable called action. That's going to be equal to el.attr ID. So this will either return as prepend, append, or replace. So now we start with our conditional. So we say if action equals prepend, do this, else if action equals append, do that, else if action equals replace, do this. So inside each one, I'm just going to console log what's happening. All right. So I'm going to save this and refresh. And now when we start clicking them, you can see that we are getting the correct action because we're grabbing the ID. Now each one of these IDs is unique, so we can determine what we should do. So in this video, we've learned about targeting multiple elements using the event from JavaScript, and also getting attributes from jQuery objects. Now, in the next video, we're going to learn about actually performing the actions of appending, prepending, and replacing.